What's up guys, it's Drac. We're still doing a single video every day in December. I'm actually filming this one in December as evidenced by my handsome holiday sweater. Do you have an ugly holiday sweater? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you have a better one for me to wear? Because this is literally the only one I have and I'm starting to worry you guys are going to think I don't do laundry. It's clean, I swear. So what is this monstrosity? Well, as much as I want to call it a bolt snap, this is actually a snap carbine, and it's sort of interestingly spaced in the development of HomeMades. It's obviously after snaps and somewhere in the midst of pump snap era and development, but this is a really funky one because they actually weren't very well liked. First off, because they're dangerous, and second off, because they don't perform as well for a number of reasons. Now, while this does have a K18, not to be confused with the more common, more popular K26 or K25 platforms, the entire piece of PVC here is actually the plunger. There is no plunger rod per se, so much as the bolt goes through, and then this piece nested inside this piece makes up the PVC plunger. And so because of that, it's a very heavy plunger. It's got a lot of weight behind it, and it doesn't get up to speed, both because it's a heavy plunger and because compared to your average HomeMade, this is a comparably short draw. Now also, it's kind of dangerous in that you have this giant chunk of CPVC to be your carbine bolt here, which it's fine if you're a right-handed user and you know what you're doing. Like, this is about as safe as it can get, but God help you if this is your blaster and you're left-handed and you fire and clip literally anything on your wrist, because this is flying forward regardless of where your face or body are, or if you kind of like, it's not good to have anything a la like even old crossbows where you've got a large piece of plastic moving very fast in a open kind of area near your face and or hands. Just overall, like, not a particularly efficient design in terms of either its performance or its ergo features, but some people just really wanted the ability to rip back like that and fire as such. And it's admittedly kind of cool. It's very unique. It's funky compared to the original snaps where you would pull something back and then put it next to your face and then possibly clip your cheek as you were shouldered. Like, it's a very interesting and unique design, and it's a shame that it wasn't iterated into something else. I think that a carbine caliburn could be on the menu for someone who wanted to do something very funky, very unique, with a little bit of flavor for both eras. This is such a blast from the past. It comes to us by way of my friend Chinanio, but also it's such a wild piece. This is from the dark ages of Nerf Haven. It's actually from kind of a black spot on that record. If anybody remembers this name, it's such a shame. It's from And the Hero Is, and in true And the Hero Is fashion, it actually was sent shattered, broken to Chinanio when he was much, much younger. This is like almost 8 or 9 years old at this point. Probably 9. I think this is like a 2010 kind of build from him, and while he's no longer around, our work is eternal as long as people remember it. But it arrived broken, so luckily one of the masters of HomeMade manufacturing, and literally like things like the caliburn, things like the rainbow pump would not be where they are in their development cycle without somebody like this. Dennis Mackey, Nerfomania, took this broken thing that was sent to Chinanio and he made it functional. So while the back is very much like And the Hero DNA, and I can't ever imagine Dennis doing a handle quite this funky. All of the functional internals, and certainly this foregrip and the mechanism inside that actually catches on this clothespin trigger. This is how we used to develop triggers. We didn't have custom parts and there was no 3D printing to speak of at this point in time. So essentially there's a ramp inside here that when pulled over, the nail going through the clothespin, the torsion spring in the clothespin pushes it up, and then by pulling this down, it releases that ramp, shoving a plunger forward, pushing a lot of air through. So this used to be the equivalent of like an NIC grade primary blaster. So Dennis fixed it up, made it functional, made it much cleaner. I'm sure he definitely did some body work on this handle, but this is the kind of thing that you used to would have spent about $60, $70 on the forum to get with no barrel, and then you'd have to come up with a barrel and dart solution of your very own. And while they would fire standard Nerf darts at the time, we still didn't have streamlines I don't think. Our streamlines were very new, so we were still making homemade darts out of foam backer rod, which are pretty sweet. We were making glue domes, and then eventually we would make slugs, which were the felt tips on the washer. But this is just so funky that this used to be as good as it got. It's almost like the difference between muskets and automatics. Like, you would prime back, insert a barrel into the coupler on the front, fire to get your barely 180, like maybe 200 FPS with good dart fit and barrel fit. Then you pop this off, prime again, load it up after you flip it, fire again, and then you would have to come in, find darts either off the field, and you would reload by putting one in the barrel facing away from you. Then you would prime. Ah, snaps, flawless catch mechanisms every time. Then you'd flip it and you would fire again. So imagine being on a field with like 30 other Nerfers all using something similar to this, and as you're like making your way from cover to cover, you also have to be cognizant of every time you fire a shot. And I'm gonna say humbly that I'm pretty good at this. So let's pretend that we're in a full readied position and we just took a shot. I'm gonna put a little timer up, and we're gonna see from fire how long it takes to reload and be ready again. Because honestly, that was a big part of like an open, no cover Nerf battle at the time, was like, how quickly could you reload your homemade assembly if your opponent was, say, 80, 90 feet away, and would they be able to close the gap to get a better shot on you while you did it? So we'll see. I'm certainly not the best at this, but I can do a noble effort, and the muscle memory is still in there somewhere. Or I guess it would be in here, right? I don't really know where you store that exactly. All right, so from fire, right? Pow. And that's good. That's assuming you don't like blow your coupler off or have a hopper full of darts fly into your face. This actually predates Hopper magazines. This is just so janky that the fellow was like, for a comfortable stock, I'll just wrap a bunch of paracord around a PVC elbow bracket, throw some machine screws in it, and it'll be good. Now, admittedly, PVC doesn't make a bad stock, and the length of it isn't that bad. For a production blaster, I would say that this is a little small. That said, for something that you constantly have to be like, it's not nearly as bad. I mean, overall, like, this is what we mean when we talk about homemade Nerf blasters. We're talking about PVC blasters like this. We're talking about admittedly much better triggers now, but how often do you get a little piece of your past visiting you in your workshop? I just felt like I had to make a video. I thought that you guys might appreciate this. While there's certainly like no real reason to visit the forums anymore, there are better repositories for information and data. In regards to like actual NIC history, there's honestly really nothing but Nerf Haven left. Maybe the Brit Nerf forums have some stuff, but especially in this aspect, I think that most of the pioneering happened on Nerf Haven. Now, it wasn't a great community for any metric, but it was certainly instrumental in getting us to the point where we share our knowledge either via social media or meetup groups or etc. And there's a Nerf club in almost every major population center in North America. It's hard to imagine then where we are now, but I'm very, very proud of how far the hobby has come, because after all, I think that it's a lot more fun playing with a caliber and then playing with a bolt snap. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know, would you ever use a quote-unquote primitive homemade like this? What do you think in terms of like how it looks versus 3D printed blasters? I think that there's admittedly almost an elegance to the functional aesthetic that homemades used to have. No frills, no nonsense, just make it work. But let me know, comment section down below. If you just have a suggestion on a better Christmas sweater, let me know that. But if you want a little bit more Nerf history, let me know as well. I love stuff like this. What a unique opportunity to make this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Huge thank you to my buddy Chinanio for bringing it over and letting me talk about it. And then if you're interested in more local Nerfing, particularly in the Southeast, I'll throw a couple of orgs down in the description box below as well. Much love, Nerf on, Drac out!